Hey guys and gals, this is Alex Olson with the KC Multifamily Minute. Today is Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. And coming to you each and every single week as we talk about Kansas City, all the new multifamily investment opportunities online that have hit either the MLS, the local MLS here, or Heartland MLS, and or LoopNet, which is going to get you everything you need to know in the $500,000 plus multifamily space. And let's get right into it as we do each and every single week. We have ourselves some stats for you. So first up, we've got LoopNet. Let's talk about LoopNet a little bit. So next week, I'll actually feature what the differences are between the two listings platforms here in Kansas City. See how accurate or how in tune both of those are to each other, if there's any differences at all. I know there are a few. My guess is probably 3 or 4 maximum, but we'll talk about that next week. So this week, though, there are 30 listings on LoopNet in multifamily in Kansas City. 26 of those are available, which means 4 under contract. So 26 of them you can go out and buy. I can help you buy those, negotiate on your behalf. 26 good ones to look at. That's debatable, of course, but something I'm here to help you out. I've talked about all 26 of those, so you can go back through all my videos, listen to any of those. Then we have over here on the MLS, which I have my website powered up here for podcast listeners, pulls in everything from the MLS. We have 48 that are out there, but 31 of those are available. So 48 out there, 31 available, which means 17 are under contract. Now that's a little bit different. It's $500,000 plus. Typically does not include any new construction. I've got a few sprinkled in here, not in the 48 number or the 31 number, but I do talk about some of the new ones if I think there's great value in them and not just a builder blasting out their new construction that's not completed yet. So with that, that's the statistics we have. I'm going to cover every single one of these new listings. We have 4 new listings by my count on the open market. Actually, you know what? We'll round that up to about 6 or 7 here. I say 6 or 7 because some of these are in submarkets of Kansas City that I don't do business in, not because I love, hate, or don't like them. It's just not a market for me. I would call this Class C minus, D kind of areas that I just don't do business in. Okay, but they probably have great value for many investors, just not something I get excited about for helping buyers in the submarket. Okay. So let's talk about the MLS. So I've got my website, Legendary Apartment Brokers, pulled up here. First up, I'm going to zoom in here. So we're in the bottom right of the Kansas City Metro, Pleasant Hill, Cass County, Missouri. It's actually brand new constructed, completed around 2021, 2022. For my podcast listeners, I had this on my off-market list for about a month before they decided to relist it here. But it's 10 units for $2.4 million. Sounds kind of pricey, but they're brand new. I mean, this is a set it and forget it kind of location. They all have garages, all very large. I think they're 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom. Own kind of private community out there, 10 units, $2.4 million, class. Really, some people would say Class A schools. I would say B minus just because of the limitations of the school district size. Great location, actually close to where I live. So anyway, something to think about if you're interested in new construction or newer construction in more of the outskirts of Kansas City. On my list, it might say Class C. It's probably Class B, just again, because of the size, the limitations of jobs. I believe there's some around 15 to 20,000 people who live there, okay? All right, so that's a new opportunity that just listed here in the last week or so. For how that would fit into your 1031 exchange, it's going to fit in pretty well if you've got a lot of cash to go. You probably need 35% down, but it's going to be fairly passive. We've got some property managers here I'd recommend. If you're an active investor, if you like the new properties, it is a good buy, again, if you can put 35% down or so. Okay? All right, so let's get back into what else we got here with these other 6 or 7 new listings. So let's get the historic Northeast properties out of the way first. That's a Class D minus. I'm zooming in here. Sorry, Class C minus. Zooming in here on my website for podcast listeners. It's going to be east of 71, really just east of 71, east of downtown, south of the river. We've got 3 new listings out here, all about 1.1 million, 1.3 million, $1 million, somewhere around this $100,000 a unit. Just briefly looking at it is where these pencil in at. Again, not my type of forte, but if you're interested and you love, seeing maybe these Class C minus locations, take a look there. I'm not going to say anything good or bad about it. Just not something I do a lot of business in. But if you do have questions, please reach out. I can kind of fill you in on some of my personal opinions there. Okay, so that's going to knock 3 off the board. That's 3 of the 7 listings. I'm not even going to talk about how that might fit into your 1031 exchange or active investors. That's more for you to decide based on the location there. All right, so another opportunity is also in what I would call, this is going to be the Brookside area on 200 West Gregory Boulevard in Brookside, which for podcast listeners, that's south of the Country Club Plaza, right off Brookside Boulevard, east of State Line, kind of midtown-ish, people would say, west of Research Medical Center. $3.3 million is the list price for, let's see, this is only a couple of units if I remember correctly. It is quite a unique property set. Let's see here. Sorry, I don't have the number of units that we've got here. It's not listed in the listing, but it is brand new apartment complex or so. It was built in 2024. So anyway, something to take a look at when you get excited about these kind of, believe it's like something around $200,000 to $300,000 per unit. Again, you got to be an active real estate investor and have a 1031 exchange to really get behind the numbers on this type of property. If you love Class A new construction builds, this could be a good one for you. Okay. All right. So zooming back out, that's 5 of our new listings right there that are in the open market. Let me just zoom back out here. Podcast listener, I'm looking at the entire neighborhood here. We have another one that's listed. It's in Liberty. It's actually 2 houses that are called investment houses. I'm not going to cover that. They're actually brand new construction for $650,000. So $325,000 for a new house as an investment property. Not my cup of tea. I'm sure it works for people, but again, I'm a multifamily agent here specializing in the multifamily market. Okay, so that's everything new listed on the MLS. All right, so let's pop on over to, let's see here. We're going to pop on over to LoopNet, which we all know is powered by CoStar and CoStar Data. There's several new looking apartment buildings. These are actually all the same as what you have seen on the MLS. However, there is one new one. Okay, so podcast listeners, I've got LoopNet pulled up. I'm scrolling in to the Country Club Plaza, which is going to be east of State Line, right in the heart of Midtown, Class A location, urban core. It is a 7-unit building for $1.2 million. I would call this one a class, as far as the class locating and what you're really looking for here. It's a 7 units, $1.2 million, $170,000 plus per unit. You've got a lot of options with this. I've sold stuff here for $300,000 per unit. One large building sold for $270,000 per unit. So the value can be there. It depends on what the in-place rents are, what your business plan is going to be. Again, the Airbnb market is not really going to be a play for you because of the Airbnb laws, unless they already have an Airbnb license in place. So all those things are something to think about. If you love the Country Club Plaza, you love the urban core, you like kind of this newer style construction, 7 units for $1.2 million. Again, that's somewhere around that $170,000 per unit. Could be a play for you there. I've seen it go for a lot more. Let's crunch the numbers. Let's see how that might work with today's debt environment. Okay. All right, let's scroll back out. Make sure we covered all the new listings in the Kansas City Metro. Yes, we have. Okay, so that's everything new on the market here this week. Several to look at, several to talk about. Let's dive into those together. This is Alex Olson.